It's Champions League Matchday 6 picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Sunday, the 10th of December, and we are here to run the rule over a Premier League weekend of action that finished a few hours ago. And then we've got Champions League Matchday 6 that came around quickly. The witching hour of Champions League action happening this week. Joining us from Nottinghamshire is Mr. Barry Penaluna. Bazza, how are you?
Evening, not bad. Still trying to shake off this cold, but definitely feeling
my God,
a hell of a lot better than I did when I was recording this on Wednesday night. It was last time, wasn't it? I was rough on Wednesday. I went downhill rapidly Thursday, Friday. And just starting to pick up again today. So on the mend, Malcolm, on the mend.
You're a right fanny, Baz.
Oh, I know. I've said this to Helen. Ordinarily, Helen gets really bad colds, suffers like hell, and I've got to run around after her. And I'm quite resilient when it comes to viruses. Like, I tend to get a little bit of a sniffle for a couple of days. I fight them off, never moan, just get on with it. And the last couple of illnesses I've had have absolutely wiped me out. But does she run around after me? Does she? Fuck.
Why no? He's resilient. We're going to make a song about that, Baz.
You too, like.
Only cost 40 million. Ollie Beckett is first in the chat, and with good reason. Sheffield United won a football match. And Ollie, were you there, Ollie? Let us know. He's absolutely buzzing. We tipped up Sheffield United to win that football match at a nice price as well. We'll get to our little picks in a while because we did all right. We had a good weekend. In fact, that's where we'll start, Baz. It's weekend finished a couple of hours ago with a terrible defeat for Newcastle for the second time in 3 days. We'll touch on that in a little while. But yeah, I had a great weekend, Barry. I only went 2 for 6 yesterday, but they were both fancy price dogs. It was Sheffield United and Aston Villa that did. So that got me up to over 8 units. I did feel like I left the 1-1 of the week. So
15 to 1 double those two, Malcolm.
Yeah.
I know you didn't put them up as a double, obviously, but they were all underdogs. Both our underdog picks came this week. So I put up Villa, you put up Sheffield United. So hopefully someone might have went for the dog double. And 15 to 1 that was.
Yeah, the dogs were barking. I feel like I left the 1-1 of the week on the table. It was the Wolves Forest game. And that was the one where I had kind of 2 reads before the game because we handicapped them on the Wednesday. And then I was messaging Riley, Riley, one of our listeners, and he said, "Do you really fancy Wolves?" And I said, "The prices and moves." I said, "Riley, I don't like it. It's the 1-1 of the week, 100%." And then Sodslow, it obviously came in at 1-1. Somehow Man United couldn't score a goal, even though it was hilarious. They got humped. I'm expecting our live viewing figures to be down tonight, Barry, because the Man United fans tend to stay away for some reason on a Sunday night. So yeah, Man United couldn't score. And then today I went 3 out of 4, including Everton as home dogs for the second time in a week. Fulham team total, they scored 5 twice in a week. Jimenez, my anytime goal scorer. So yeah, finished the weekend on 15.5 units for my 10 with my underdog, with my anytime goal scorer in Jimenez, Baz. So yeah, happy.
Yeah, it was a brilliant week for you, Malcolm. A bit of a mixed bag for me. I was sort of hit the post on pretty much everything yesterday, although I did have Villa as my underdog. I did have the unders in the Sheffield United game came in. But I had the unders in the Liverpool game. That was a late goal, done me in. I was a goal away on the Brighton game for over 3.5. Brighton game was over 2.5 and both to score. Got the both to score. fell a goal short. And the Man United game, thought I'd hit the over 3.5, and that goal was
yes.
ridiculous.
If you hit that over 3.5 with a 4-0 Bournemouth win, that would have been one of the all-time
unbelievable. So, yeah, a bit of a mixed bag for me. All right yesterday, but yeah, you absolutely smashed it today. Like, well, over the 2 days entirely.
The only thing, and we did see on Wednesday, we hadn't seen the Thursday night results, so I picked in Newcastle both games, and there's a reason. That's part of the reason I say I never like picking them. I picked them to beat Everton. I picked them to beat Tottenham. But having seen the Everton game, I definitely would have flipped my pick because Newcastle.
Yeah, I said the same.
And really, I was working on Thursday night, and I was talking to the lads I was working with, and the clues were there because you said our away form was being crap. We'd lost to Bournemouth in a very similar comparison game, and Everton are really good at home. And in hindsight, like you say, the clues were absolutely there. But I definitely would have. So I do feel like I left a few units out there, but you can't.
Yeah, same thing with that Newcastle game. As I say, I took the draw, but as you say, we reviewed that before Newcastle had played, before Spurs had played in midweek. I've done a lot of stuff on TikTok this weekend, and in each of those, when I got to my Spurs game, I was saying to people, I put out the draw, but I don't fancy it one bit. I'd much rather be on the goals. So I think had I been looking at that game on Friday, I'd have gone for goals over 3.5 or something like that. So yeah, a little bit unfortunate that, but we did say when we got to that Newcastle game, we were going in a bit blind, really, weren't we? Having not seen how both of those teams had done on the Thursday night.
Well, the IT department, and she said to me today, do you want dinner a bit later today? Because you'll be watching the Newcastle match, so shall I do dinner for about 6:30? And I just said no. I said we'll be 3-0 down by 6 o'clock, and I'll have the red zone on. So by all means, just do dinner at normal time. And that's exactly what happened. We were 3-0 down at 6 o'clock. I did put the match on the laptop just to keep an eye on it, but I put the red zone on the telly.
I mean, we might as well talk the Newcastle game first, really. Since we're at that point,
anything to talk about, Baz. We did nothing. Tottenham played well. Newcastle had shattered, and we've been waiting for it to come, and it came. I don't think we've learned anything today at all. Yeah,
I mean, for me, same with the Everton game, really. I came away with it not really bothered.
No, absolutely not. Anyone who is getting wound up about it, one shot with shit.
You just can't fault the effort these players have put in over the last few weeks. And there's people on Twitter who will go mad saying they're professional footballers, they should be able to recover. I don't think people understand. It's not. It can't be as easy as some people seem to think it is to just keep trotting out every 3 days the same 11 players again and again and again. So yeah, when we went 2-0 down, I almost turned it over. I thought there was no way back in it. But as the goals went in, it didn't bother me. What did bother me, a couple of things to take out of it, man, was I thought he should have made changes earlier. 2-0 down, game was over. Just bring 5 fresh players on and give some of those players who played every single minute a rest. Why Trippier was still on till the 85th minute, allowing him to get his book in so he misses the next game. I thought that was daft because Trippier's looked knackered. He looked knackered today. I thought Lascelles looked wrecked. There was a few of them, but I thought he should have made more changes sooner, which was a bit disappointing. And the other takeaway from the game, Malcolm, is how the fuck does Romero not get a red card? I mean, the red card offence is one thing. He could have had 2 or 3 bookings before that for bad challenges. But he's an absolute lunatic, that bloke. They're 3-0 up at that point. And he just goes over the ball and studs up, over the top, stamps on the ankle, and then his other leg comes through. We make sure he scissors him as well and takes him on the second leg. I don't know how he stayed on the pitch. And on a similar vein, same yesterday, Onyeka got away with one. And
Onyeka, he committed 2 red card offences within 5 seconds and got 1 yellow card for it.
And then Nakamba, I thought was a red for Luton.
I didn't see it.
He 2 foot off the floor, feet just like up and down, sort of stamped. But in every one of those situations, VAR looked at it and said, "No, there's nothing to see here." And I thought all 3 of them were reds, and most of social media and everything else thought they were all reds. But Romero, I just don't know what goes through his head. That situation in that game.
Me and Bob started laughing at him because the ball got played down the channel at one point to Gordon. And about 10 yards before it arrived at Gordon, Romero just wanted to foul him. And he tried, kicked him, pushed him, kicked him, pushed him, grabbed him, kicked him, pushed him, and then eventually knocked him over. And that's all he wanted to do. He didn't want to do anything else, which is kind of admirable in a way. Like that, his sole intention was to go and foul somebody, which he did. But me and Bob had a little chuckle at that. Yeah, I didn't get too much into that, and a lot of the other VAR stuff. I got a little bit wound up by Liverpool, not as wound up as Roy Hodgson. Roy Hodgson telling the commentator he was taking the piss made me laugh. There's something funny about a 78-year-old.
I thought he was right, though, Malcolm. That was never a red card. It was never a red card. That second yellow was a foul. It was totally innocuous. And I think Hodgson was right. There was so many yellow cards in that game, and barely a bad challenge amongst them. Really, I think the referee lost the plot a little bit towards the end. So I can understand why he was pissed off, because that wasn't the second yellow card. Like I mentioned to you, I texted you at the time saying Gakpo had came off the bench and within 5 minutes had made 2 identical fouls and didn't get booked for either. Because I've seen a lot of Liverpool fans, as they will. We talk about everyone's partisan. They're adamant it was a red card. They said he broke up a counter attack or something like that. And I thought, doesn't every tackle for the ball break up a counter? If someone's just one possession and you tackle them, then you're breaking up a counter attack and everything. But he was 60 yards from goal. No, wasn't a thingy. But I don't think Hodgson was too far off. But it is what it is. I think I talked about this again on TikTok as well. Like, talk about the Premier League being the best league in the world or the best league in Europe. We've got the worst referees. Like, it's every week. They're just garbage, like absolute garbage. Can we talk about referees again, though, Malcolm? Can we jump to Arsenal? Yeah, can I just say, Arsenal weren't robbed yesterday.
No, they weren't robbed.
What's your verdict?
No, they definitely weren't.
Honestly, there's a mentality now within that club, and it's come around from Arteta's attitude. They all now think everything's a conspiracy. Everyone's against them. The league don't want them to win. The refs are against them. And everything that goes wrong is I just don't get it. We saw it after the Newcastle game and again yesterday. Arsenal, the handball rule is shit. That goal should be a goal. I'll give Arsenal fans that. That goal should be a goal, but by the rules, it's not a goal. And you can't just say, well, Cash handles it, because the stupid rule is a defender can accidentally handle it. That's fine. But an attacker can't accidentally handle it. If he handles it, it's a handball. So the rules are shit. I get that. But they got that handball decision right. By the letter of the law, it was right. But again, Arteta will come out and just make out like they've been absolutely done in. Arsenal should have had something out of that game, but they should have had something out of the game on their own merits by finishing some of their chances. They played well after going behind. But I can't have it that every time they're going to drop points, they're going to be claiming they've been robbed again. Like, maybe it's what Arteta wants, that sort of siege mentality, us against the world type of thing. Maybe it's deliberate. And maybe
it's a bit of an Aldi Mourinho, isn't he? What no one's pointed out with Arteta was he was suspended, sitting up there. If he hadn't acted like a bell end and got 3 yellow cards, he might have been able to coach them to a win on the side of the pitch. In
his defence, the yellow card last week for celebrating the last-minute winner against Luton.
Is that what it was for?
Was ridiculous. Because we have to be objective here. I know some of our listeners think it's turning very anti-Arsenal. Joe Dollar pulled you up for. But you're trash talking on Twitter. As I say, it's not. So, as I say, being objective, I think Arteta was very harsh with his yellow card against Luton. If you can't run down the touchline when you've just scored a 97th minute winner, that's ridiculous.
Well, that should have been his first yellow of the season then. So
what's happened to his suspension for being a tit after the Newcastle game? That's dragged on now for nearly 4 weeks. And we still haven't heard what's happening there. So he might be missing again over the Christmas, because he'd probably get another ban for that lot.
Anyway, talking of tits, Barry, I've got some tit list action here. I'm going to tell you first about Underdog Fantasy, a great way to play alongside your favourite fantasy players all season long. NFL, NBA, NHL, college basketball and college football. Simply pick high or lower on your favourite players' fantasy stats and cash in. Watch along, make your picks and maybe make a little cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, underdogfantasy.com. When you sign up with the promo code SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. Underdog Fantasy promo code SGPN. Yeah, so tit list, Barry. I've got a couple of honourable mentions first before my actual suggestion. First one being Joey Barton. Now, we tried... The only reason Joey Barton isn't going to be an official suggestion for me is because we tried to keep the tit list quite light-hearted. You know, it's for quite spurious tittery. It's not for being an actual total knobhead like Joey Barton is. If I give you one guess, Barry, that about 3 or 4 years ago, I had an argument with somebody and he found Joey Barton refreshing, who do you think that person was?
Phil Terza.
There you go. In a
nutshell,
there.
To be fair,
I mean, that's
I don't mind Joey Barton. I don't mind. I haven't minded Joey Barton over the years. I actually listened to Joey Barton for 4 hours earlier this week. Before all of this stuff kicked off, he had a podcast on the James English podcast, and some of it was really good. There was some really good stuff on it. Interesting stuff about his troubles, his time in prison, time growing up. Some absolute bollocks on there. You can tell when he's talking about some of the stories where he put a cigar out on someone and where he smashed Usman Darbo's face in. You can tell he's twisted those stories to make it look like he was the victim and all of this lot. He had a tendency to go off on a tangent, but I listened to it, and then literally within 2 days, all this kicked off. And Malcolm, I've got him down here as a tit list suggestion. I had it down as my very first note on me things today. It was first order of business. Let's get Joey Barton on the tit list because he has been.
I don't think it's a bit too serious in it. I don't think like that deserves any oxygen, any airtime anywhere, let alone with a few hundred people who are going to listen to this. Like
the tit list's not very strong at the moment, though. I feel.
Well, I've got a suggestion that you might want to put on. So,
we'll see what your suggestions are. Then we need to recap what's on the tit list, and then we'll work out where we're at from there. But we've got some very dodgy selections. Anyone
who's watching live, if you want to cast a vote. My second one, Barry, is our first female tit suggestion, and it was Lauren James. Do you remember Lauren James stamping on a Nigeria player in the World Cup, getting sent off, and then crying about it and saying sorry, and doing the exact same thing today against Arsenal because they were getting beat. I watched a little bit of the WSL today. Arsenal were hammering them. The free kick had been given, and as the Arsenal player went to pick the ball up, she just stamps on her, just with her hand and her foot, like proper sort of foot. It was just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous behaviour. And really, it's on the back of crying and saying sorry last time. You can't have it both ways. Like, it was a bad day for the James family having Reece James taken off injured for the millionth time against Everton earlier in the day. So her, but my final one, Barry, and this is a kind of an algorithm thing as well, because I think this person must be doing, I don't know if they've got a book out or something, or they seem to be on the podcast circuit the last couple of weeks. And because I've watched one clip, and this person keeps going very Alan Partridge in these clips, I keep saying loads and loads, and it's Michael Owen, Barry. Now, I know you will intuitively agree that Michael Owen should be going on the tit list. Have you seen the one today about the apple, Barry?
No, so it must be an algorithm thing, because I haven't seen anything of Michael Owen at all in recent days, so nothing's caught my eye. I've just watched that Lawrence James clip, though. That is ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. So Michael Owen's on another one of these. It sounds like another one of these high performance type podcasts where they're all talking like they're curing cancer or SAS people. Fucking hell, man! Honestly, he's a footballer. It's not that deep. And he's been on quite a few different podcasts. But what he said, it's the earnest way he tells his story. And he says, I'd sit on a night time with my mum and dad, and I ate an apple, and I would throw the apple core at the bin. Now, my mum didn't want me to, and here's the thing, I was brave enough to miss and get in trouble with his mum. And he's telling this story, like, honestly, like he's faced down 25 Viet Cong in the jungles of Phnom Penh City or something. He's thrown an apple core at the fucking bin, and he's telling you the story. I was brave enough to miss eye contact with them. I was brave enough to miss Barry. And he said if he hit, his dad would give him a little no and look, said, "Yeah, you're a born winner. You're going to play for England, son, because you got the apple core in the bin." So there's that titlist thing. But the other thing I want to take out of that is, what's the cut-off for eating an apple? You don't eat an apple on a night time, do you? Or any fruit, really. I would say I've got a 3 p.m. apple cut-off, Barry. Like, after 3 p.m., you're into the biscuit tin, you're into the crisps, you're into the good stuff. Like, apple maybe's in the morning, lunchtime at a push, afternoon snack, possibly. No one's eating an apple watching the telly, like, night time.
No, that's a valid point. Like, my daughters would Chloe's all over the pineapple at the minute. She'll eat that at any hour of the day. But an apple. I don't really eat apples as an apple on its own.
No.
I did add some apple to a coleslaw. I made a homemade slaw the other day. Bit of chopped apple in that was nice. Give it a nice little, bit of cider vinegar, bit of chopped apple to accentuate that. It was nice. But yeah, I agree. Bit of a strange one, that.
So what about Michael Owen? So the tit list suggestions then, Barry.
I'll be honest about him. It doesn't take much for me to agree Michael Owen's a tit. So who have we got on there at the moment? Where are we at?
The list is Mike Dean, Mark Goldbridge, Jordan Henderson, Bukayo Saka, Rio Ferdinand, Mikel Arteta. Saka was unlucky. All Saka did was just a stupid celebration. He took the piss out of James Maddison, didn't he? Having given away 2 goals. That's what he went
Goldbridge,
on.
Saka, Henderson. Who else?
Ferdinand, Rio, Ferdinand, Arteta.
Arteta is on there, yeah. That's fine. He's staying. Saka can come off.
Saka's off.
Saka's off for Michael Owen.
Michael Owen. I'll email Bukayo now. Let him know the good news. I'm sure he's delighted with that. Michael Owen is officially on the tit list. And
we'll leave Joey Barton for now. You don't agree. Joey Barton isn't
cool. I don't want to look at the tit list and see his stupid name staring back at me. I think he's an absolute helmet.
He's not gonna go away over the next few weeks, so we might change our mind in a few weeks.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. The other thing I'd like is Amrabat, who plays for Manchester United, Barry. I think you could beat him over 25 yards in a race. I would have you. I'd go 10 to 11 each of 2. You and Amrabat. Holy shit! I watched the game yesterday. The bloke cannot move. He looks like he's towing a caravan at all times. What's happened there? Did you watch any?
He was a world beater in the World Cup, wasn't he? And then you turn up at Old Trafford, things change. After he was bang average, and has been all season. Again, another thing I talked about on TikTok last night was Man United, and there isn't a single Ten Hag signing, I think, who's done any good, has he? Casemiro did well for a bit, but has totally just dropped off the map this year. I'd give Højlund a chance. I tell you what, Højlund must be annoyed. I know he hasn't scored in the Premier League yet, but he shows something and he fights and he works hard and he's a young lad. He's got improvement. Martial isn't a young lad, isn't going to improve, isn't going to fight. Højlund sitting on the bench seeing Martial start and mincing about all game. That must get frustrating. Martial was a disgrace yesterday in the same way Rashford was the week before.
Martial's not very far off his Manchester United testimonial, but he's nearly been there 10 years, It's mad, isn't it? He's got something like 42 goals or something in 10 seasons. It's like Shola Ramiobi. So I had my eye catchers, and actually, as we've dotted around the league and the scores for 25 minutes, we've touched on quite a lot of the eye catchers. But I'll throw out my top one, Barry, who were Bournemouth. Now, we've said, and this is a bit of a mystery as to why, that it takes managers various amounts of time to impress their style upon a team. Postecoglou came in and did it straight away from day one. You could see what they were doing. Ten Hag still doesn't look like he's able to do it. Pochettino's struggling to get it done. But Iraola, in the last 5 games or something, this is the time it appears to have worked for him. And Bournemouth been absolutely great. Top-class performance yesterday. They've got some good players. He's getting tunes out of players like Lewis Cook. Solanke, I mean, I'd love to see if Newcastle were in for Solanke, possibly in January. I think Bournemouth's mentioned him. But yeah, absolutely outstanding for Bournemouth. Arsenal were on my eye-catching list. Just they played better than Newcastle when they lost 1-0, but they're still scratching around, the same as Liverpool, who were on my list. Another poor performance, gifted a win by a red card. They can't keep getting away with it. Fulham, 5 goals twice in a week, which is incredible for Fulham, really. I don't know where that came from. Newcastle take on Fulham next. And then I think Everton have to be worthy of a mention. Back-to-back underdog home wins for Everton. Lewis Dobbin today, I was delighted to see him get that goal. He was buzzing, his little face was great. How can you not be romantic about football? And Dwight McNeil is absolutely playing out of his skin. For some reason, I've softened on Everton a little bit. I think it's because I've quite quickly realised they're not going to get relegated. So that kind of angst that I was feeling that they did is almost instantly gone away. So at that point, I'm not really that bothered anymore. But yeah, Everton have been absolutely great as well. They would be in the top half if not for that 10-point deduction. So yeah, that was pretty much my eye catchers. Baz, have you got anything else to chip in?
Yeah, I'd agree with Everton. I'm the same. You know, we ripped into Everton early in the season, and at the moment I'm fairly happy. I was happy for them to beat Chelsea today. Don't mind Everton at all. And as a lot of people are trying to give me some stick, Everton fans, about the 3-0 through the week. I could take it on the chin. It's fine. Like, it was fine. They deserved it. It was a good performance. No problem with it at all. Again, Jordan Pickford gave Newcastle fans absolutely loads at the end. Totally entitled to do so. I have no problem with that. A lot of Everton fans are saying, "Oh, look at the Geordies getting all wound up by Jordan Pickford." The vast majority of Newcastle fans would hold their hands up and say, "Jordan Pickford takes it all game, every game from Newcastle, and he's entitled to give it back." Nobody really cares. He's fair play to him. Don't care. Yeah, I mean, you've made the honourable mentions. There's one other team for me who I think I've been quite impressed with, despite the fact the results are poor, and that's Luton. Again, they were all right today against Man City. They've lost by 1 again. Lost by 1 against Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool. They picked up a draw. You look at the run of games. They've played Man City, Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, Villa in the last 7 games. So they've got a good, tough run of games out of the way there. They'll start picking up points, Luton. And we, at the start of the season, gave Luton a chance of staying up. Several weeks later, we were thinking that was wrong. I still think Luton can make a fight of the relegation battle. Of the 3 promoted teams, I think Luton can make a fight of it. I think they'll start picking up results. So they're looking all right. They could definitely do with another striker. But yeah, I've liked what I've seen from them. They don't look like they're just going to roll over and give it up now. So yeah, that was the other one from me.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think all 3 teams could. I think Burnley will click, and maybe Sheffield United could go on a little run. Get the new
Forest are in danger of getting dragged into it, and potentially Palace.
That's what I was going to say. It's which teams are going to come back to them, because
that's it. When you look at
Everton were the 2 teams that you'd have pegged to do it, and they're the 2 teams we've just said really 2 of the best form teams in the league. So it would be, and then Fulham keep winning. So it would be. You're then looking at Palace. You're looking at Forest. There's not really that many. It's very, very, very competitive. Like, there's not that many standouts. Interesting stuff though. We'll do some more futures stuff when we get a chance, but December's not really the time. Like, it's incredibly busy. The one other little bit of housekeeping we need to clean up here is the merch competition for our Spotify Wrapped. The 2 names who we're going to pit head to head this week, who've come out with a hat, are Lenny and Riley. So Lenny B and Riley Shant. What I need off you 2 is 3 picks for next weekend's Premier League games. So 3 picks, 1 unit each, 3 units. And whoever wins the most out of the 2 of you will get that SGPN merch store voucher to get yourself something nice for Christmas. Okay, Champions League match day 6. We're going to get stuck into some picks. I feel like we've done all right on the Champions League, Baz, in the last couple of shows. I'm a whole lot more confident than I was at the start. Because like I said, I hadn't watched it. I barely watched, because Newcastle was so bad. You just never got into it. I didn't have BT Sport, so I didn't get into it. Now I'm watching it for Newcastle. I've got my Fire Stick, so I can watch stuff. So yeah, and I feel a lot more confident. I feel like we'll be doing okay. So let's first talk about Hall of Fame bets. Will help you win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season. Sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research NFL, NBA, and soccer bets with historical stats and data. Put any parlay idea into Hall of Fame Bets Parlay Optimizer. You'll get hit rates broken down by leg, expected probabilities. You can sort players by hit rates, find out who's hot and which picks have value, etc. So stop betting in the dark. Join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use the code SGPN to get 50% off your first month. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. So the Champions League, the big in match day 6. There's a lot of groups with nothing to play for. There's a lot of dead rubbers kicking around. There's a lot of groups with stuff to play for. There's also games where you've got a team with a bit of incentive taking on teams without any incentive. So there's loads of different angles that you can try and get into the Champions League with here. My first angle, Barry, and this isn't big or clever, and it's not flippant either. I'm not taking the piss, although it might sound like it. On the Tuesday night games, I've got to go to Manchester United against Bayern Munich. Man United are 13-8, plus 162. The draw's 3-1, and Munich are 11-8, plus 137. And anyone betting on Man United here should have their bank accounts frozen for their own good, Barry. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Now, I don't even care what the outcome is. I don't care what the lineups are. You have to back Bayern Munich. People have only got a squad of 25 for the Champions League, so it's not like they can play the under-4s. They got humped, actually, yesterday, didn't they? Get beat 5-1 off someone, Munich.
5-1 of Frankfurt, yeah.
5-1 off Frankfurt. But Bayern already through. Manchester United will go out if Copenhagen and Galatasaray don't draw, and then they have to win. So if they win and the other game finishes in a draw, they can still go through. So Man U's got something to play for. It doesn't mean they're capable of doing it, though. They just lost 3-0 at home to Bournemouth. So yeah, absolutely, it would be irresponsible of us at gamblers not to bet Bayern Munich here. It's 13-9. Well, actually, I had them down at 13-9, 145 earlier. They have shortened up a little bit, so someone's onto them. The price is now, what did I say? 11-8 plus 137 Bayern Munich, Barry.
Yeah, I'll stick with that game because I've got a pick there as well. Different to you, but along the same lines, really. I mean, Bayern Munich, if this game was the first game of the group, Bayern Munich would be odds-on favourite comfortably. Obviously, the top of the group don't need anything from this. So the bookies have got them closer. But I just think the bookies have gone a bit too far on the prices. I mean, they've almost got them as a match. They're not far off the same price. They'd already won the group last time out when they played Copenhagen. They only drew 0-0, but they did have a strong enough lineup out. Kane started. There was various other first teamers in the lineup. As you say, they've only got a certain squad they can play with anyway, so they might make a few changes again. But they'll have a strong enough side here to be able to compete. And Man United as a team are on the slide, but in terms of a name of a club, they're still a massive name in football, and Bayern won't ever go into a game against Man United and just roll over and throw it. Kane will be relishing coming up against this Man United defence. If he starts, he'll be absolutely licking his lips coming up against these lot. They've conceded 14 already in 5 games, Man United. 4 of those came against Bayern. And for me, the outcome of the game, who knows? Man United might make a game of it. They've, made a fight of most of the games in the group. To be fair, despite conceding a load, they have scored plenty as well. But Bayern haven't lost a game in the group stage for 6 years, Mal. 2017, last time they lost a group stage game in the Champions League.
Good stat, that, Baz. Good stat.
So how many times in that period have they probably gone into game 6, having topped the group? I don't know, but probably lots. Yes. Still don't lose. So that's a good record. For me, I'm on Bayern as well, but I'm taking Bayern team total. I'm taking Bayern to score 2 or more at a price of 5-6, minus 120. So yeah, Man U v Bayern for me. You can have Bayern, and I'll take Bayern to score 2 or more at 5-6.
Iron team total. Okie doke. My second pick here is 8 o'clock on Tuesday night, 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Can I jump in first then, Malcolm, in that case?
Yeah, go on, mate.
I've got the other game in this group.
All right, okay, yeah.
It makes sense for me to crack on in Man United's group.
Yeah.
So I've got the Copenhagen v Galatasaray game. So as you say, Bayern have won the group. That leaves the other three battling it out for second place. And it's a big ask for Man United, as you say. There's a lot of things that have got to fall in place for them to have a chance. So these two, both tied on 5 points in second and third place, and just a point ahead of Man United. Copenhagen have the edge on the tiebreaker, so they sit in second at the moment, with Galatasaray in third. So Copenhagen currently they'd stay above Galatasaray with a draw, but they can't draw this game. I'd assume that's enough, because if Man United win, as you say, Man United could pip them. So both teams here know that only a win guarantees them qualification. The reverse fixture was a draw, 2-2 in Galatasaray. But the one thing we've seen in this group is loads of goals. This group's had 40 goals in total, comfortably the highest scoring group in the competition. And with Galatasaray in particular having to go for it, Galatasaray can't qualify with a draw. They have to win. Draw won't help them at all. I think we'll see more goals here. Galatasaray have got loads of attacking talent. Copenhagen capable of keeping up with them as well. I'm going to take this one to be an open game. Plenty of goals again. Over 3.5 goals is 6-4. 4 of Galatasaray's 5 games in the group have already gone over 3.5 goals. The reverse fixture between the two sides went over 3.5 goals. I think it's a good price, good plus money price here. So pick for me, Copenhagen v Galatasaray is over 3.5 goals at 6-4.
Yeah, I looked at this game, Baz, and I had no idea what to do with it. I tried all kinds of different ways to find an angle, and yeah, it looks like goals, but yeah, I was happy to look elsewhere. So I'm pleased you picked the game up, because it's a good betting game. It's a really good betting game.
I tried to sort of look. I looked for fixtures mostly where I wanted games with something riding on it.
Yeah,
as you say, there are a lot of dead rubbers, and it's really hard to try and pick winning bets in those games. So yeah, for me, I like the look of this one because it is a massive game for both teams. So it's a one that I'd be keen to watch, to be honest.
So yeah, my second pick here is from it. It's a top of the group clash where the winner will top the group here. It's Inter Milan against Real Sociedad. Inter Milan 3-5, -166. The draw is Berlin and Bertie 100-30 plus 333, and Sociedad are out at 4-1. Both teams tied on 11 points here. They are tied on head-to-head after a draw in Spain. The game in Spain finished 1-1. And Sociedad are actually top on goal difference. So Inter Milan need to win to top the group. And I just think the prices are far too far apart. 3-5 shot taking on a 4-1 shot. I don't think it's like that at all. I think they can get a point. They need a point to go through Sociedad. There's nothing in the form lines at all to say they're remotely overmatched. The game finished 1-1. Like I say, the return fixture finished 1-1 in Spain. And I think the exact same thing can happen again, Baz. So I'm going to take the draw here at 100-30 plus 333. And I missed it at the weekend, Barry, but I'm not going to miss it again. This is 100% the 1-1 draw of the week.
It's Malcolm's 1-1 draw of the week. Both teams scored a goal. It's Malcolm's 1-1 draw of the week. Both teams scored a goal.
Both teams will score a goal. The 1-1 draw, Barry, is 7-1. Get amongst a little bit of that. What have you got next?
I've got the same game, Malcolm, so we'll jump straight into that. You'll be pleased to know that my pick can also win with your pick. Both on 11 points, as you say, both qualified already, so playing to win the group. Some people might say winning the group doesn't matter, but the best teams will win their groups. Man City's, Bayern Munich, teams like that will win the group, and you want to avoid them. But also winning a group means you get the second leg at home, which is a good advantage for teams as well. So I think both of them will want it. Two teams in good form. Inter are unbeaten in 13 games in all competitions, and Sociedad unbeaten in 7. Inter, Drew their last game in this group, 3-3 against Benfica. 6 goals in that one. So the other 4 goals produced just 7 goals in total. And 3 of their 5 games have gone under 2.5 goals. Sociedad have been low scoring in the competition as well, just 9 goals in the 5 games. And 4 of their 5 group games have gone under 2.5 goals, including the reverse fixture. 1-1 was the score in the reverse fixture, so that leans into your play as well. Sociedad are currently top. They've got it on tiebreakers. They've conceded just 2 goals in the group so far. That's a really good record for them, and tells me they can keep it tight, hold what they've got. As I say, a draw for them will see them top the group. I think they'll keep it tight. I think they'll keep the score low, and I like unders here. It's plus money. Under 2.5 goals at 21-20. And as I say, there's plenty of form for it in this group. Both teams are fairly low scoring, with the exception of that 3-3 Inter v Benfica. So yeah, pick for me in this one, Malcolm. Inter v Sociedad, under 2.5 goals, 21-20.
You know what adds up to under 2.5 goals, Baz, don't you?
1-1.
1-1, Barry. You're exactly right. That's why you get paid the big money, Baz. Moving across to Wednesday nights, I think you have to start in Group F, which is completely and utterly up for grabs. It's Newcastle's group. Dortmund have qualified, but they need a point. It's home to PSG to be able to win the group. The prices are really weird in that one. Dortmund are out at 3-1. PSG 11-13, minus 117. I looked at that, just scratched me head. I wasn't good enough to work that one out. Newcastle and AC Milan will be waiting to pounce with a win if Paris fail to win in Dortmund. The Newcastle game here is where I'm going to feature. I think we have to. It's a big game. I know we do have. We've got Newcastle fans listen, but we also have English football fans listen. So we're dotting around the rest of the games. But this is importance to a lot of people. So Newcastle are 3-4, minus 133. The draw is 3-1. And Milan are Burlington Birdie 130 plus 333. And I think the key to this, Barry, is Newcastle's home form. We finished talking in the review of the weekend's action about Newcastle's away form, and it really is quite poor. But at home, despite the problems, it's been absolutely outstanding. We got home wins very recently against PSG, against Arsenal, against Chelsea, against Manchester United. And then the second bit of key form here is that Milan have failed to score in both of their away Champions League games. They've actually been scoring away from home in Serie A, but not winning. They've been scoring and getting beat. So fired by a huge sense of injustice amongst the players and the fans after the Paris game. Newcastle are going to be bang up for this. I think they can go to the well one more time. And I'm going to take Newcastle to win the game, Barry, at 3-4, minus 133.
Yeah, I couldn't bring myself to do it. I've left this group alone. I just don't know. Last couple of games have sort of knocked my confidence a bit. But I agree with you. The home form is good. And the Champions League nights, obviously we lost to Dortmund, but the atmosphere and everything, everyone's up for it. There'll be a great atmosphere again. And the team do seem to thrive off that, like they have done all season. So I hope you're right. I haven't made a pick in this game. AC Milan on
a couple of players back to it. I think Longstaff will come in for Miley, and you can't underestimate the difference that'll make. Wilson might start and give Isaac a little rest. Isaac can have 25 minutes off the bench. And there's talk that Harvey Barnes and maybe Sven Botman might be kicking around as well. So just a few little hopeful signs that Newcastle might have more than just 11 players to pick from.
Yeah, AC Milan aren't in great form this season either. So, it's an opportunity, certainly. Final pick for me, Malcolm, is the Porto v Shakhtar Donetsk game. Have you got the prices there in front of you? Because that's your job.
I have, yes. Give me half a second. The prices are Porto. Where the hell is it? There it is. Just over 2-1 on, so around about minus 217, 1-2. Plus 375 is the draw, and Shakhtar Donetsk are out at 6-1, Barry.
Yeah, so this one's a classic win and you're in. Tie, Barcelona, top of the group, up against the whipping boys Antwerp, so Barcelona should top the group with ease. But then we've got these two on 9 points, fighting it out in second place. Fighting it out for second place, I should say. Porto in this one have the edge. They won the first leg 3-1, so a draw would do for Porto. Shakhtar would have to win this game. Shakhtar's highlight of the group was a 1-0 win over Barcelona. The other two wins coming against Antwerp, who, as I say, haven't picked up a single point and have been the whipping boys of the group. Porto are going well in the league, second behind Sporting. They've won the last 4 games in a row in the league. They've lost just twice in this group, both to Barcelona, and both by a single goal. So they've made a fight of it in each of those games. And I think the key here is the reverse fixture. So Shakhtar Donetsk at home, albeit they're not playing in Ukraine. They went and got beat 3-1. Porto won that reverse one 3-1. Now Porto went into that away game where they won 3-1. They went into that as odds-on favourites at 4-7. And now they're at home to clinch qualification, and they aren't much of a shorter price, 9-20. I just expect there to be a bigger difference, given that they were so short away from home. Went and done it and done it by a couple of goals, and now they're not far off a similar price. So I'm not putting them up as a pick at that price, but I think they can win by a similar margin. So I'm going to take Porto on the handicap at 5-4. So Porto minus 1.5 to go and clinch second spot in this group. Porto v Shakhtar Donetsk. Porto to win by 2 or more at 5-4.
Joke. I've 1.5 picks left here, Baz. My final main play comes Wednesday, 8 o'clock, Atletico Madrid against Lazio. Atletico 3-5, minus 166. The draw is 16-5, plus 320. And Lazio 17-4, plus 425. Atlanta are top on 11 points. Lazio are second on 10. So Atletico, did I say Atlanta there?
You did.
I went full on MLB mode there for a minute, Baz. I've got the abbreviation ATL written down. Yeah, that's a proper baseball autopilot. Atletico need a draw. Lazio need to win. So the first thing I'd say, is that Lazio are worth a punt. It's not my play, but if I was going to pick a side, I'd pick Lazio here at plus 425, 17-4. There's not that much between these two sides at all. Lazio are capable of winning this. But I like goals, Baz. Atletico have scored 3 and 6 in their 2 home games. Lazio have scored 3 and conceded 4. And both teams have scored in both of their away games. It was just a really simple pick. Over 2.5 goals is 9-10, minus 111. There's goals all over the shop. Both sides, home, away, whatever. No reason why that would change. So, if you're feeling frisky, have a pizza bet on Lazio. But other than that, over 2.5 is 9-10 at minus 111. And I said I've got a little half a bet here, Barry. And it's in the Red Star versus Manchester City game. And I just want to throw out Red Star as another pizza bet. Let's double up Red Star and Lazio. Red Star are 8-1 here. Just because City have already qualified. They're not in very good form. They struggled again today. They got the win, but it wasn't great. And they might just completely phone it in. And Red Star, you go somewhere like that. They're never going to take a night off. It's going to be wild, regardless. They get a chance to take a scalp like that. And regardless of their position in the group, they'll go for it. So it was just a little combo of Man City not playing very well, but also not really needing it. They might easily down tools this week. 8-1 for Red Star, Baz. I thought was worth a little fibre.
I don't mind that. I looked at that game, actually. I looked at it possibly from a under 2.5 angle. I didn't end up putting it up in the end. Okay. I couldn't get there. But I think Man City won't care whether they win that game or not. As I say, they're struggling with things in the Premier League, and I think he'll use it as an opportunity to give players a bit of a rest ahead of a busy schedule. Haaland definitely won't play, and I'd be surprised if there's quite a few others who... I think quite a few others will miss out, and a few of the young'uns will play this game. So, I don't mind having a little punt on that.
Nice one. And I think, Baz, I am done with my picks. Do you have anything else to tell the people?
No more picks, but just a quick one, really, about the socials. So, good stuff in terms of reviews lately. We're pushing towards our 100 reviews on Spotify. We're up to something like 86 or something now. So we need people, if you're listening on Spotify, and we know there are hundreds of you, you could do us a favour and just tap that 5-star button, push us towards 100 reviews. That would be great. If you're listening on Apple, it's been a while since we had a nice review from anyone. We had a bit of an influx from our Australian listeners for a while, but Apple, drop us a quick review. That would be really, really nice. We'd appreciate that. And we've got a lot of new followers on YouTube. I've been doing a bit of business on TikTok, Malcolm.
I've heard.
Working all hours. I was live on there at midnight last night, just chatting football and putting the word out. The TikTok lives on a Saturday morning continue to be really popular. We're still getting some good horse winning picks on there. There's people in there coming up with darts and all sorts. Like, it's turning into a little bit of a free for all. But some good interaction. TikTok's sending a lot of people our way, so it's working. We've got around 50 or 60 new subscribers on the YouTube this week. So if you are joining us this week, hope you've enjoyed it. And if you're not already subscribed on YouTube, keep doing so. I had a little bit of a funny moment on TikTok yesterday. So I was live 11:30 to 12:30, and then about 1:15, I get a message come up on the screen saying, your live has been blocked. No new participants will be allowed for the next 10 minutes, and a warning will appear on your page. So a warning come up on the page saying substances consumed in this video could be harmful to your health.
Well, what were you consuming?
I wasn't consuming anything. What I had...
Everything you consume is harmful to your health, buddy.
What I had was a pen in my hand. And someone on the live stream said they think you've got a vape. They said they've got an automatic algorithm, and you putting your pen to your mouth will have TikTok thinking that you're vaping. So that's what it was all about. I just had a pen. That was it. And I'm quite...
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so yeah, TikTok's algorithm.
Big Brother, that. It's a bit Black Mirror, that, isn't it?
Aye, yeah. So yeah, it's got a big warning on the screen about me. But yeah, lesson learned. Don't put a pen near your mouth during your TikTok lives, Malcolm.
There you go. That's a lesson, a life lesson for everybody. Right, I don't know when we're going to record this week's Premier League show, because I'm working Thursday, and so we might do it Thursday during the day. But there is Friday night Premier League action. The Friday night games back. Nottingham Forest take on Tottenham, and then there's 5 games on Friday and 5 on Saturday, 4 on Sunday, before we go into another full week on Thursday, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's absolute mayhem. So keep your eyes peeled for this. The stream will be scheduled, and we'll stick it in the Discord and all the other social channels. Can we go, Baz?
We can go now, Malcolm. Yes.
Thank you very much, everybody. Really appreciate it. Good luck with your Champions League picks. Good luck to Newcastle United. Let's get through to the next round against them fuckers. We will see you down the road. Cheers.